Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome inside the Fan Cave. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, and we are here to take your calls, as the name says. 412-575-2600, that's the number of the Bordas and Bordas hotline. You can also hit us up on Twitter, at KDPomp, at the Pony Express, on what should be a very busy upcoming week. 2 games in 7 days, and 2 big ones. Home opener against the Patriots for the Steelers, and then next Thursday night on Amazon, they will play Cleveland, in Cleveland, which should be an interesting game. Pony Show joins us right now up there at the Fan. And Andrew, we saw today officially that TJ Watt is out. We knew that. I get the feeling it might be a little shorter than expected based on some of the comparisons that Jerry Dulac made in the insider report we had. But at the same time, they're going to have to figure out ways of getting to the quarterback. You know, last week I thought they blitzed very infrequently. They may have to dial that up a little bit in this game against Mac Jones if he should play, because he didn't practice today, and I know he got sick. I don't know what that means for them.
Well, I'm shocked that Bill Belichick excused a guy for having, diarrhea, or
Diarrhea.
It sounds like he had an upset stomach. No COVID, according to reports out of Boston. So that's a little bit of a strange one. Usually Belichick's a stickler and makes his guys suffer through practice. But, Watt, Bob, I think that because it was such a dominant defensive performance, honestly, we're kind of downplaying the injury. Because I think after Aaron Donald, he's the most irreplaceable defensive player in the NFL. So I want to believe that they won't skip a beat or that they'll still be really good. But every time he's out of the lineup, they lose. So I'm worried about that. Alex Highsmith had a great breakout game against Cincinnati, 3 sacks. He leads the league right now. Mika Fitzpatrick turned in one of the great safety performances that I've ever seen, Bob. But the defensive attack starts with Watt, and offense's game plan to stop Watt. And that changes Sunday with the evil genius Bill Belichick coming to town.
Yeah, and the evil genius likes to always take away strengths of teams. Although I look at the offense, and I don't know what the strength would be at this point, in terms of what you're going to take away. Maybe the tight ends, because I think those 2 guys are pretty good when they get going.
Well, you put 8 in the box and you dare the Steelers to throw the ball downfield, because it seems like, they're going to take their shots, but they're going to be all low-risk shots downfield. Like if it's you take a shot, and then if it's not, it's an incomplete pass out of bounds. They don't throw the ball to the middle of the field out of fear of turnovers and interceptions. So from that perspective, I bet it's an easy defensive game plan for Bill Belichick. He knows how conservative the Steelers are, and it looks like Najee's going to play, Bob. He was a full participant today, but I don't know about you. Do you have any confidence or faith in the Steelers' running game breaking out against Bill Belichick and the Patriots, of all teams? I, for one, do not.
Well, what I have a concern over is this injury to Harris, even though he's back and apparently going to play. I don't know. I mean, that looked pretty severe. And even though Mike Tomlin said it was not the same injury, I mean, the guy's had a history of foot injuries. And I wonder, how much of that takes a toll on a guy like that. And you have Jaylen Warren, who, last week laid out a couple of would-be tacklers with nice blocks.
All right, Bob, so I'm going to give you a question. I'm going to flip the tables on you in that regard, because I asked Jeff Hathorn the same question today, and I was surprised by his answer. If I told you on Sunday that the Steelers were going to give 20 carries to running backs, 20 carries, not Claypool end-arounds, not Mitch Trubisky runs, 20 touches went to running backs, how many would you give to Harris, and how many would you give to Jaylen Warren?
Well, if it's me, and I assume you're asking me if I were the head coach.
I'm asking Bob. I'm not asking what Tomlin's going to do. I'm asking what Coach Pompeani would do.
I would give 15 to Najee, 5 to Warren. That would be the way I do it, if he's healthy enough to do it. And I don't know if I can make that statement. He didn't practice yesterday.
I'd give 20 to Warren, and I would give 0 to Najee Harris. I would have him inactive for this game.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I wouldn't, because I think this is a long stretch. And this, if it is a Liz Frank, or if there's a recurrence of the Liz Frank, she's a tough injury to deal with, man. You can recur, and then all of a sudden you take a step back. For every one you step forward, 2 back. That's not a good situation, but I do think you will see Jaylen Warren in action more than we did last week in the running part of this game. We got to take a break, Andrew. When I get into that, I also want to talk about the MVP of the American League. I feel like I'm on a lone island here, but I have my beliefs on who should be it, although I have huge respect for the man who's going to win it, because I think he is going to win it. We'll talk about that. The Pirates struck out a lot tonight. All that coming up, plus your calls at 412-575-2600. That's the number. Give us a shout right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.